Hi, my name is Ahmed Khayat. I'm a student at the American University in Cairo. I just came back from a year abroad at the University of California, Berkeley. I am finishing my last semester at the AUC in economics. In the past years, I've lived in the States, I've lived in Egypt, I've lived in the UK, I've lived in India, and I've lived in Greece. I think that's one of the best aspects of myself, that I've had a, let's say, a global perspective of all the issues, and that's something that's always been with me. January 25th, 2011 was a quintessential day in Egyptian modern history. It was the day in which the Egyptian nation stood up to the former regime and made their voices heard as they ousted those in power. The revolution was deemed by the international community as a political success, as the first example of democracy overpowering tyranny. However, many today suffer economically as they do not find the proper ways to make their living. People4Egypt is a viable solution for this economic problem. It is an initiative aiming at allowing Egypt to pay back its debts, while at the same time stimulating the economy to usher in a new era of political, economic and social change. This idea came to be when one night, Ahmed Hillel, my economic colleague, and I began discussing the possible post-revolution ideas. What was a discussion became a two-page written document, further evolving to a Google Docs discussion, and finally a soon-to-be printed book. This book entails a 6-year economic development plan, which we hope, through your votes on our website, to have the necessary votes and necessary signatures to go to the Egyptian and American government and present our solution. The People4Egypt plan is an economic development plan addressing the Egyptian debt owed to the United States of America, equaling $3.6 billion. We are planning to do this through a 6-year economic development plan, which is split up into 3 phases. Phase 1 is to begin 2013 until 2014, focusing on $1 billion, a third of the debt. Phase 2 is to start from mid-2014, lasting 3 years, until 2017, focusing on $2 billion. And finally, Phase 3, taking 2 years from 2017 until mid-2019, is for the remaining $0.6 billion. We are giving ourselves 2 years from right now, 2011, until the initial start date of 2013 to raise as many votes to present this to both governments. Phase 1 is called Economic Stimulating Activities and Political Awareness. Basically, the $1 billion worth of debt is split into 2 halves. $500 million towards unconditional forgiveness, and the second half towards a matching grant. The idea behind the matching grant is that for every $1 the Egyptian government spends, the American government is going to forgive $1 worth of our debt for them. This matching grant is split into 3 parts. First part is $200 million for tax exemptions for small and medium enterprises. Second part is $200 million for small and medium enterprise loan exemptions. The idea in focusing on these enterprises is that they're a large part of our economy and they employ a big sector of the labor force. But however, after the revolution, there have been cuts in these small and medium enterprises. So by allowing them these exemptions, we believe that there's going to be a reinvestment and a growth in this sector, which is going to allow the economy to pick up. The last phase of the matching grant is $100 million for political awareness activities and election oversight costs. That's going to allow Egypt to better transition towards democracy and freedom. People4Egypt's second phase is called Debt for BOT Swap. BOT is defined as Build, Operate, Transfer. It's going to be discussed later on. This phase is going to account for $2 billion worth of our debt, and it's going to last for 3 years. What this BOT concept is, I'll explain right now. Basically, there are 3 parties: the Egyptian government, the American government, and a third-party investor. What happens is that this third-party investor goes to the United States of America and buys the Egyptian debt at a discounted rate. And for that, the Egyptian government gives them a BOT right. This BOT right is the right for an X amount of years to operate on a piece of land for manufacturing, agriculture, services, or any other economic stimulating activity within the Egyptian land. So basically they don't own the land, but they have the right basically like a rental right for a specific amount of years to use this piece of land. The benefits that come along with this BOT right is that they are tax exempt for 10 years. They have lower tariff rates for any imports required for building the manufacturing, and they deal with less bureaucratic agencies inside the Egyptian government. The impact of this debt for BOT swap on the Egyptian economy is that, first of all, there's an increase of foreign direct investment in our country. There are a lot of work opportunities in these new factories that are opening up. There's a net increase of net exports, which increases the revenues of the Suez Canal and increases any taxes on these new products. The final phase of the People for Egypt initiative is a debt for LSMBI swap. Basically, it's a debt for limited staggered managerial buy-in. What this concept is, I'll explain right now. Again, we have three entities: the American government, the Egyptian government, and a third-party investor. The third-party investor buys the Egyptian debt from the American government at a discounted rate, and for that the Egyptian government gives them equity in a public sector company. We've placed an equity cap, which is why we've labeled it as limited, of up to 20%, because evidence shows that 20% share is usually what's most efficient. And with that, they get from 0.5 up to 5% of extra profit share. So for the 20% stakeholder share, they get the 20% profit share plus this extra incentive. This incentive is that because these third-party entities get complete managerial rights in these public sector companies, this incentive factor allows them to boost their performance. Overall, phase 3 is to account for $0.6 billion, and it's to take 2 years from 2017 until 2019. The Egyptian population stood up to the government, and in this era of Arab Springs toppled the former regime and had a successful revolution. However, as we attempt to rebuild and reconstruct our country, we are asking for your help. Through this plan, we are attempting to raise as many votes and signatures on our online website to have the necessary pressure to present this plan to the American Egyptian government, and then have them discuss it and see if it's a viable solution for what's going on. So we ask you to take 1 minute of your daily life, wherever you are throughout this world, to submit and click on our website and become a signatory of our plan. Help People for Egypt empower the Egyptians.